Okay, so we're getting ready to do an implementation of ViewMaker's make chart command, and we'll start by just by visiting the GitHub page. You can see the address up here, and if you don't already have it installed, there's really simple installation instructions. You just pop in the composer command into your command line, run that, and then copy this line into your service provider's array inside of config/app.php, and you're good to go. Let's take a look at our PHP artisan list command here, and this will give us all the commands available to us through PHP artisan. And you can see I've already installed ViewMaker, so you see we get the make chart command, make child of, make foundation, make master, make parent child, and make views, as well as the remove commands, which are remove chart, remove child of, remove CRUD, remove foundation, and remove views. It makes it kind of easy in case you make a typo or something. You can just clear out all those files. So there are dependencies to make chart, and you can't just run it by itself. It does require that you ran the foundation. Okay, I should mention real quickly that the make foundation command itself has dependencies, and one of those is that you have a CSRF token set in your meta section. So if you've run the make master command, you get the layouts folder, the master.blade.php file, which is your master page, and then all these other files where everything's extracted, including meta.blade.php. Normally what I would recommend if you're going to play around with ViewMaker is do a fresh install of Laravel, run the make master command, and once you've run make master, then you're set up with your dependencies. You can move on to running make foundation, and then of course make chart. So let's get back to the task at hand here. So I'm going to start with this idea. I use this as a sample model all the time. This idea of a widget. You can see right here we're on the that route, the widget route, and nothing's coming up. So we're just going to run through, even though I did this in the last video, we're just going to run through it real quick and create a foundation for a widget model, and that'll refresh us on this, as well as get us all the dependencies we need to make the chart, which is really what we're after here. So make foundation, I'm supplying the model name widget, master page name is master, and we want the view template. And I'm just going to go ahead and create that. All files successfully created. Next step, PHP artisan migrate. And since this is the first migration of this app, we also got the users and the passwords resets table. You see the one that we're focused on here is the create widgets table. It did that for us. Next, we're going to unit test it. And we just go to this path vendor/bin/php unit, and it looks like it works. So now we have a record in the database, but since we want to play around with the chart, we want to go ahead and fully seed the database. So we're going to go one more step, and we're going to play with Tinker, and we're going to get our factory method, which Foundation also made for us, and we're going to get that to seed the database for us. So we just have to type in the factory command and do that now. Widget. Second argument is we want 30 records. We're going to go ahead and create that. And just like that, you're going to get 30 records inserted into the database. Control D to get out of Tinker. And now we're ready to play with this. So if I come back to widget, this route in this application, now I hit refresh, and it's all there. And there's your data grid. We've kind of already covered this ground, so if you want to refer to video number 2, that would be the one where we reference this a little bit deeper. So I'm not going to go through each little step of this. So then what we want to do is we want to get into the make chart command. And before I actually type it out, let's just revisit. So I want to show you how to use this documentation. It's so easy to use. So on the GitHub page, I have some screenshots, shows you what everything does, and then I have the commands listed. So if I want to know how to do make chart, I just come down here, click on make chart, and it brings me right to the instructions and the documentation for that command. And it kind of tells you what it'll do. It says chart.js, chart on index, chart API route, gets the API method, and it gives you the features that you're going to be excited about on the chart. And it also gives you, it does all this in vue.js, which is for Laravel developers. That's definitely a very popular JavaScript library that everybody seems to be using. So we're going to go ahead, and you can see in here that I've actually have this set up to play with widgets. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab that, because I hate typing probably as much as you do. And I'm just going to pop this in over here and run it. And believe it or not, that's it. The chart's created. So let's just go look. This is what we had before, no chart, and wow, now we have a chart. It's really that simple, because the Make Foundation gave us all the dependencies. So some of the features of the chart, let's just get into that real quick. You can decide whether you want to display a line or a bar. Now, this is for a 1 year period, and you can see it's all in the month of June, which is when I did this this video, because I'd have to go in a database and change some of these records to get data in these previous months. Obviously, I didn't do that, so that's why this is all empty, and you have it all bunched up here on the end. But you can play around with that if you want. And then the chart comes with 4 periods built in. So it's 1 year, 3 months, 30 days, and 1 week. So let's just run through it, and maybe we'll look at it on the bar version and some of these shorter periods. 30 days and 1 week. So you can see you get a lot of functionality out of this right out of the box. It's just so simple. So let's look at under the hood a little bit and see what make chart command actually built for us. So in your API controller, the make foundation command creates an API controller, and once you have that there, you can run the make chart command, and that's going to give you this widget chart data method. And it's pretty involved, I'm going to have to say. I had to bundle it up in one method to be able to publish it to the API controller. So this is something where you might want to refactor and break it into smaller parts. I'll leave that up to you. But it's pretty involved, because you have the different. We have a switch statement that's covering the different ways, the different views on the chart, which is 3 months, 1 week. And you can see it's fairly involved. So this is a good bit of code that just stood up for you. It does something that's always kind of a pain when you're working with charts, which is it creates labels for you. And the labels and the data are formatted. And I did this in PHP. If you look down here, you'll see that it returns it all, the JSON data here. I did it all in PHP because, one, I'm not that strong with JavaScript, and I just seem to struggle when I'm formatting in JavaScript. So I thought it'd be easier in this case to format it on the PHP side in the AJAX call, and then just return it to the vue.js implementation for chart.js. So now I'm going to go into my widgets view folder. I'm going to get to the index page, and then we're going to see we have some styling for the chart, so that goes in here. And as the comment says, you should move chart style to a permanent home. The reason why I do it this way and not into like a public JS folder or something like that is I don't know how you're organizing your assets, and I don't want to like put it in a JavaScript file and then you got to move it around. I'd rather just put it in the view, and you can just extract it and put it where you want, whether you're using Elixir or a public JS folder, or wherever you're putting that file, however you want to do it. Or if it's a small project, just leave it. It's not going to kill the project. And then when you come down here, you see begin widget chart, and this is the actual template of the chart. So ViewMaker's created this for you, and there's your selects for whether you want line or bar and the period. That's the canvas tag, which determines the height, and that's where chart.js is going to pop the chart in between right there. It's where it's going. So I've indicated 600 by 400. Again, this is stuff that you can change. You can play around with the style. Over here is the actual graph component, and so ViewMaker has put all this in for you, and it gives you an ending tag. And the reason why these ending tags are important is, let's say you want to run the remove command. This tells it what to to extract between the begin and end comments so that it pulls out just exactly the right amount of code. So just keep that in mind. The remove command is more or less for if you made a typo or you just want to step backwards immediately. In fact, let's go ahead and just demonstrate that real quick. PHP artisan remove chart. Let's give it the name, and that's it, and it's fully removed. So now we'll go back and we'll check the page, and just like that, it's out. And if I want to go and just go back and put it back in, I just run the command again, and we're back. It's that simple. So all that stuff is pretty easy to work with, and I think you'll really enjoy that when you're working with that. All right, so that pretty much wraps up our tutorial on Make Chart with ViewMaker. It was kind of a long tutorial. Hopefully you got something out of it. It's a really super simple command, and sometimes the challenge is, how to give that context because it does do so much. But hopefully you've enjoyed this. I hope you get a lot of good use out of it. It's good to, even if you don't really know everything about chart.js or vue.js, you have some kind of starting point. It really helps. You can piece your way through it. You can make changes and play around with it. And that's one of the things that drove me to do this, because I thought it would be a lot of fun for people to play with it. So, and not only that, but the work efficiency is just fantastic. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.